Alright, definitely practice with heavy distortion, so this way any unmuted strings easily ring out, so you can address them right away. So, like it says there, make sure your picking hand is laying on top of the E and A strings before you begin. So, if you have your guitar pick over your neck pickup to start, that's a really good spot. So that's what I want you to do. Check to make sure your neck or your pick is over the neck pickup, and get that hand laying on the low E and A string before you start on this one. And as you climb higher and higher with this, you're going to have to move your hand so this way you cover even more strings. So by the time you're at the top, your hand is basically laying across everything except the high E. So if you end up palm muting on accident, that means you have the wrong part of your hand covering the strings, and you're going to have to just adjust it so you're muting only what you want. And a lot of times it's this part of the hand, sometimes it's the side, but as you go from string to string, you just have to pay attention to what's being muted and how you're muting it, so this way you get better at muting as you go. So this way you can play the heavy stuff with not having a bunch of noise. So here we go, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the index finger needs to always be up underneath the adjacent string. And so when you're starting off here, the very first note, your index finger needs to be up underneath the A string and barely touching the G, B, and E. So the index finger does a lot of muting as well. So it mutes the higher pitched strings and the one that it's adjacent to underneath. So when you're on the D string, your index finger needs to be up under the A string. When you're on the G string, it needs to be up underneath the D string. And when you're fretting the B string, your index finger needs to be up underneath the G string. When you're on the high E, index finger needs to be up under the B string. Alright, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that hand on the strings. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go number 2. Maybe. There we go. Alright, so here you're starting with your hand laying across everything except the high E. And kind of get your hand down in advance. Get like all 3 fingers down. Make sure that index finger keeps laying across your strings. So avoid taking the index finger totally off away from the guitar. Keep it fairly close, so this way it can help you mute the higher pitched strings as you go from one position to the next. 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Under 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, number 3. Concentrating on keeping it strict alternate picking the whole way. And you just have to move that hand back and forth to mute the unused strings. 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so working on those chords. So just stay with one progression until it's done. So you got the 6, 7, 1, 5 progression with the repeat. So the A minor chord, you're going to go ring finger first. And then for that B diminished, you got your pinky, middle first, C major, ring, middle first. So you see you're holding down 2 fingers you need for that next chord anyway. So again, B diminished, you got your pinky, middle first, and then the C major, ring, middle first. And then your G major, pinky, ring first. And then the last one, when you get to that, remember, get that progression just demonstrated, get that down first, then move on to the next one. So you got your ring, pinky first, that's how you're going to hold the F chord. Hold the B diminished the same as you just did, same thing with the C chord. Then when you go to the E minor chord, third, second, first finger. So you're going to hold the C chord and the E minor chord the same way. Okay, so if any questions come up, let me know. I'll see you again next week.